Hello everyone. My desk feels really cluttered. This is the earliest I've ever been to a Gaza stream. Yeah, you are very early. We got some exciting topics. This is such fresh live. I still need to improve my setup. Let's go. Hello everyone. Hello. 15 seconds in and only one like. Yeah, only one like. What's going on there? You guys are being weird. You guys need to light this shit up. Sorry guys, I had a very big weekend. I had a very exciting weekend. I had to get a ring cut off my finger. I don't know if you can... Hold on, I'll see if you can see. Look at my finger. Yeah, look, it's all weird. I woke up after a night out and my finger was all swollen. And it's a ring I've had since I was a kid. And they had to cut it off when I was a kid. I've had it since I was... it was for my 17th birthday, so it's a long time ago now. Sounding a little quiet to me today. That's because I'm being a little quiet. Don't ask, because then you'll all be like, oh, you're too loud. Is there drama in the Discord? No, there's not drama in the Discord. I'm just saying, I'm just making jokes. There's not, anything. Audio is kind of quiet. Wow. So you actually think the audio is quiet? Hold on. Okay. It was a very tough weekend. Hello, Michelle. Hello, everyone. Sneak up challenge, but I'm glad your finger is okay. Yeah, it's fine. It just hurt a bit. It just hurt, and they just cut it off. It was very exciting. Great way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Just, very stupid. And then I've just been feeling a bit, goodness me. I've written a video which I'm going to put out this week about Superman and whether it was pro-Palestine or not. I was, as is habitual, I was checking through one of Lonabox's streams, and Lonabox was saying it was, like, anti-Semitic and, like, Islamophobic to view it as an allegory for Palestine, and I think that it's just kind of indicative of, like, the community that he's cultivated. I think it's kind of just insane. I just discovered one client called Daniel Schweften. I've never heard of Daniel Schweften. Who is he? He just writes in the Times of India about how why Israel needs to fight. Does he have a funny X profile? He sounds like someone who'd have a funny X profile. I mean, most people who post on X have funny profiles because they're all fucking weirdos. I saw Hassan reacting to my content the other day, thinking about suing him. Maybe. I might be suing Hassan, so that could be the title. I'm joking. I'm not going to sue Hassan. Actually, no, I am, until he retracts that fucking defamatory comment. That defamatory comment about my moustache. That was, it's very upsetting. Wait, who sleeps with jewelry on? I was on a night out. I was tired. I'm very quiet. Am I louder now? Is it less loud? More loud, not less? Did they at least try the rope trick? You couldn't get a rope under. My finger the ring was too thick. Sue him for the plot. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Just suing someone because I could. Someone was talking about the Online Safety Act. It's fucking crazy. In the UK, you now can't go on r/cider anymore. You can't go on r/cider anymore, which is unbelievable. Oh, fuck. An X is about to start. I don't want to give my fucking ID to Elon Musk, but it looks like I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to give my ID to Mr. Elon. Because the Online Safety Act is fucking crazy. You now have to, like, give your ID to go on r/cider on Reddit. Why is Ethan in the title again? Because there's actually something very interesting that was pointed out to me involving the Atlantic Council and Ahmed Fraudmad Al-Khatib, a guy who lived in Gaza for 5 years and doesn't shut the fuck up about it, and means that he's the only authority. But there's something quite notable that I was told about, and I was saying, most of you in the community do evil things and bad things, but one of the people, and I'll go into more detail about this, one of the people that Ahmad Fraudmad Al-Khatib works with is this lady, Jen Counter. She is, of course she does strategic communication. One little tip for you. Anyone involved in strategic studies, strategy, they're quite possibly evil. So she is a non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council, which Ahmad also works on. Now, Ahmad Fraudmad Al-Khatib has voiced, he said that he doesn't like the, he said that he doesn't like the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, but he literally works with a woman who does influence operations for it, which is kind of unbelievable. And the reason I thought that I would mention it is because obviously this woman is literally like a colleague of his, and Ethan Klein did propaganda for it. So yeah, I'll talk about that in a bit, but that's a little explanation of why it's in the title. But you can see here, I'll show you. She's part of the Atlantic Council, Jennifer A. Counter, non-resident senior fellow, vice president of Orbis Operations, one of the key organizations involved in the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, and she's the vice president of Orbis. And look who else is there. Hold on. So, the reason that I think that this is worth mentioning is because, like, basically Ethan Klein brought on the people who do propaganda for the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Like, you know, the people who... This guy is, like, a colleague of Jennifer Counters. They're on the same website. They work for... Yeah, they work for different parts. This guy's so shit at what he does, you know. He runs Realign for Palestine. We've heard all about Realign for Palestine. God, it's driving my PC crazy. Time to get off that. How the fuck these people have so many jobs? I don't fucking know. I don't believe in work, so, you know, I'm not the best person to ask. Sorry, guys, I actually just need to open my window. 1 second. I'm just going to move my camera off. I'm muted. I'm muted. Right, what was I going to say? What was I saying? I'd forgotten what I was going to say. Shit, I've forgotten completely. Someone can lip read that and work that out for the future. Right, but yeah, we'll talk about this, because, she also, yeah. There was literally an investigation about this the other day. Among those positioned to profit from the GHF-linked contracts are a Chicago-based private equity firm, McNally Capital, whose subsidiary, Orbis Operations, helped set up the foundation, and SRS, the primary contractor overseeing the GHF inside Gaza, which was created late last year for that purpose. SRS is owned by Wyoming-based trust, whose beneficiary is McNally Capital. So I think that it's kind of worth talking about that. I mean, it's not even just having a Hasbarist on. It's having someone that works for the same company. Like, this is someone, like, he is still like, he was literally talking on and on about how Hassan interviewed a terrorist, a 19-year-old kid from Yemen, who is most definitely not a terrorist, But he was fine with having that person on. He was literally fine with having Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib, who is someone who is like working alongside for the same organization as this person. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I was just on Twitter whilst I was saying that. Look at this from Piers Morgan. Stop your appalling, senseless and criminal starvation of Gazan children, Prime Minister Netanyahu, now! Fucking hell. Piers, stop using your show as a means to admonish anyone who tries to stop that. I thought USAID had been withdrawn from these institutions. Well, USAID basically doesn't do shit anymore, seemingly, apart from kill people in Gaza. Get him, Piers. I don't fucking know. Like, fucking Piers Morgan, man. Like, but yeah, so that's like something that I wanted to talk about. I guess I'll talk about it more now. I was looking for Trump Starmer, but there doesn't seem to be. Twitter peers greater than YouTube peers. I mean, even then, it's sort of just this thing of people. It's like what fucking Ethan does, what fucking ContraPoints did. It's like say Netanyahu bad and get out of jail. Like, it's ridiculous. It's fucking insane. What was I gonna search? Shit. This all just like it's all just like an hour-long video, let's see if this is it.
All over the United States. I don't know what he's doing, but she's very respected. As respected as him. I don't want to say more, I'll get myself in trouble. But she's a great woman and very highly respected.
Who is this woman? Is this Keir Starmer's wife? Stop reading the King James Bible. Romans named Jesus. It means earth pig. Read the truth. What? What did you just say?
Yeah, well,
Piers equals the consummate wave ride. By the way, you like Loserbox's take that Ukraine good and Gaza bad because they don't call for the dissolution of Russia. I mean, I think when you've cultivated an audience of like, people say Hassan is like benevolent to his audience. I'm sorry, Lonerbox's audience is like fucking Israelis. Those are the people who give him money. Those are the people who watch his content. If he doesn't, I don't even know if he believes what he's actually saying. I think he realized that there's just this kind of niche for being somewhat moderate pro-Palestine. But by moderate, it just basically means being a Zionist. Because like, I want to say something. There is, actually, we'll talk about this. You know what, we'll watch this before we get into this stuff with Trump. There was a recent video of Nick Maynard.
A lot of...
You know, I can't even imagine what it must...
Hold on.
Seen, I think, probably a dozen now, seriously injured young boys who have been shot in the abdomen.
Thank you for the donation, by the way. You do not talk to any NAFO guys. What is NAFO? Oh goody, I've been waiting for a new episode of the Ethan Klein saga because I am an imperfect human that only God... Very soon Piers will be talking about how he condemned Israel for what they've done. Yeah, and I think that this is the whole thing. Like, literally, just say Netanyahu bad and you're out of jail. That's how these people view it. But the truth is it's not Netanyahu. Israel is a deranged, racist settler colony. Like, I have no problem saying that. Zionism is the problem. It is not an ideology you should be arguing in favour of. No ideology which basically has an almost entire population that is at this point of, like, just unequivocally defending genocide and supporting it. Like, I'm sorry, I think that you have to say that there's something wrong with the ideology there.
Chest, one of them, a 12-year-old, died on the operating table because the injuries were so severe. And they're all from gunshot wounds. And they all described to me, and their families described to me, and indeed colleagues of mine, Gazan medical colleagues who are looking for food as well, have gone to these same distribution sites and witnessed these injuries as well. They're all
This is, to be honest, this is something that kind of came out over the weekend. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is, like, genuinely the most insane thing that you could possibly imagine. Like, it is literally just a place where Israeli soldiers go to kill people. And also, by the way, you want a little fact about Ethan Klein and his campaign against Hassan Piker? Did you know that Lonabox interviewed an Israeli soldier who had served in the Netzarim corridor, where one of the areas where there was a literal line where hundreds of Palestinians were killed? And he said, nah, that's not happening. And, you know, he was like, oh, there's some crazy people. Lonabox had him on his show. I'm just saying. Has anyone watched Bob Geldof's appearance? I haven't seen the Bob Geldof. I'll have a look at it.
Describing that they're being shot by Israeli soldiers or by the quadcopters, the drones which are being remotely controlled by the Israelis and fire, often indiscriminately, often targeted. And I'm seeing we're all seeing a very clear pattern of injuries. I've seen the abdominal injuries, but my colleagues in the emergency room describe a very clear pattern where on particular days they'll see different body parts targeted. So on one day they'll all be abdominal gunshot wounds, on another day they'll all be head gunshot wounds or neck gunshot wounds, on another day there'll be arm or leg gunshot wounds. And on last Saturday there were 4.
I don't think Lonabox takes drugs. I think he's just miserable. I think, like, if you build your whole personality around being friends with Destiny, and then he, like, you know, like, basically sexually, what is it? Is allegedly engages in sex crimes against your girlfriend, I think you're going to be upset.
Young teenage boys, all brought in very, very rapidly in succession with gunshot wounds to their testicles.
So every now and again you hear a story coming out of Gaza that just sounds like, yeah, that can't be true, can it? Like, there's no chance that this is true. That, like, you know, Israeli soldiers are intentionally sniping people in the bollocks. That there are people who are, you know, doing these things. That there are people just, like, shooting intentionally different parts of the body. But as I'm going to explain, I'll talk about that. He actually does. He completely changed. I mean, I always wondered why he kind of stopped making YouTube videos. He has a pretty successful YouTube channel, and his stream is, like, not that big. So, like, why did he stop making YouTube videos? It's a bit of a mistake.
So they're clearly being targeted to their testicles. And this is a pattern that we're seeing every day. That these young teenage boys are systematically being targeted. And it's almost as if a game is being played, that they're deciding to shoot the head today and the neck tomorrow and the testicles the day after.
So there's a great piece by someone called Craig Jones, The Great March of Return, Enduring Violence. And he's talking about this, but I do also have another anecdote here. I have a lecturer who was involved in activism in the West Bank during the 1980s and, like, prior to that. And one thing she talked about is how that, like, there was some kind of, like, thing about how being shot, how there was something to do with eyes. Like, she mentioned how a lot of people were scared of losing their eyes, that there was an increasing thing of, like, they thought that Israeli soldiers were intentionally targeting people in the eyes with rubber bullets because it kept on happening so much. There's also something about, like, disabling people. But anyway, just read this. So this is a report from 2016. Some soldiers made a game out of targeting legs. The anatomically complex knee became the inevitable bullseye. Reports of kneecapping were emerging in the West Bank in the years immediately preceding the Great March of Return, with one Shin Bet security service officer reportedly telling Palestinians, all of you will end up on crutches and we'll make you all disabled. Sorry, that's actually the quote that I was looking for. In the Great March of the Return, the anatomical patterns were again unmistakable. You are not meant to see massive bleeding, because in the region of the knee and bone, there aren't a lot of capillaries. Reported a sniper who was deployed to the Gaza fence. If you see blood, that's not a good sign, because you probably hit too high. Another sniper boasted of how he kept the bullet casings for each Palestinian knee he hit, 52 in total. Asked whether he considered this a high number, the soldier replied, "I haven't really thought about it. It's not hundreds of liquidations like in the movie American Sniper," which, by the way, is entirely fictional. "We're talking about knees. I'm not making light of it. I shot a human being, but still." I mean, that's a fucking crazy statement. This is like a crazy statement to hear from like anybody saying this. Just, you know, talking about shooting someone in the knee, probably disabling them for the rest of their life, and you know, or an injury that's so difficult to recover from. Israel just bought him and other streamers. I mean, I wonder if that's the case. Like, I don't know. I doubt it's that they were like entirely bought. But what I will say about this is, like, it's just unsurprising that Israeli soldiers do this stuff. Like, they're literally given carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they are told that Palestinians are subhuman monsters who are responsible for, like, the lack of peace, for everything that's wrong with Israel, that they're all, like, all they want to do is just hurt Jews, that they, you know, and, like, once again, going back to that stuff where, like, people kind of, well, like, Ethan specifically was kind of, like, dismissing all of the shit to do with, you know, like, October the 7th and the propaganda. Like, that propaganda contributes to people feeling this way and, like, feeling that they have a right to kill Palestinians, you know, like, to just murder Palestinians in any way they want. But, of course, you know, that's not what... I just want to move this, my camera. But, of course, like, it's just, you know, so many people just don't care. They're just okay with, like, all of the lies about October the 7th still being there because bad things did indeed happen. After a day of maiming, members from his unit would ask how many knees he had chalked up. The previous record of the total number of knees targeted by any one sniper was 11, but this sniper boasted of how he brought in 7/8 knees in one day, and within a few hours almost broke the grim record. Another reported how the best case was to break the kneecap. Maiming trades in a perverse currency of restraint, as Puar insists. This foundational biopolitical frame is a liberal fantasy that produces let live as an alibi for colonial rule, and thus indeed facilitates the covert destruction of will not let/make die. But maiming is more than a masquerade for power. It is a crucial and underappreciated component of all war machines, colonial or otherwise. Elaine Scarry argued the main purpose and outcome of war is injuring, but there is also a seldom acknowledged economy of injuring. Wounding is energy intensive for wounded communities, and especially women, in a way that killing might not always be. As well as the immediate infliction of injury, wounding is also injurious to the infrastructures required to care and keep caring for a long time. If you want to read this, it's called Gaza and the Great March of Return, Enduring Violence and Spaces of Wounding, Craig Jones. That's the name of the article. It's very good. Right. And so, yeah, that's just like a little fucking horrifying story that I wanted to talk about. But it's just not surprising. What a fucking insane comment from... I'm not even going to read your name out. That is one of the most insane comments that I've ever seen. I'll look at the B'Tselem statement as well. Maybe I'll add that to the title.
You know, giving a lot of money to Gaza for food and everything else. A lot of that money...
Why is every video of, like, Trump talking about something fucking important recently just got, like, fucking bagpipes in the background or a fucking helicopter taken off?
...is stolen by...
Thank you, Daku.
...Hamas, and a lot of the food is stolen, but we're very much...
What did he just say?
A lot of that money is stolen by Hamas.
It's genuinely insane at this point to just say, like, the money that Hamas are stealing it, because this is also something over the weekend. Like, it's kind of, I'd recommend the, I just want to see. So, NBC reported on it, but many other places did as well.
Wasn't even 2 months old when hunger killed him. Now his father carries his son's body before he buries him. All this because of a lack of food and formula. His father said there is nothing in the country.
Sorry.
Yusuf El-Safadi wasn't even 2 months old when hunger killed him. Now his father carries his son's body before he buries him. All this because of a lack of food and formula. His father said there is nothing in the country.
Oh, Trump is 100% rotting. Trump is towards the end of his life. Like, I think Trump is already declining, like, mentally. Yeah, like, genuinely, I think he's declining mentally. I think he's got that vascular issue, doesn't he, as well?
A new report from the UN Humanitarian Affairs Office says as many...
Oh, sorry, in the TrueAnon episode, they kind of spoke about the guy who wrote, his name is Jack Paulson. He writes about the GHF and stuff. He was talking about it. How their influence operations work is like, they get debunked all the time. And this is also, by the way, how Zionist debate works. But they will find one point where there is like, hey, maybe some of the reporting wasn't that accurate. Like, oh, maybe it wasn't as it was first reported. And they'll be like, look how bad the pro-Palestine narrative is. They get it wrong all the time. And it's just like, hi, Romelia. And also, hello to Manar. You said hello and you were late for once, which is a bit of a surprise for you, Manar. You're normally always here.
Is not...
Oh, Kia's no better. I mean, Kia's not rotting, though.
9% of children in Gaza are suffering severe malnutrition. But the Israeli government says they've put no restrictions on allowing aid into Gaza.
It's kind of insane that this is just like that you have to hear what Israel wants to say. They're doing the Holocaust, bro. They're doing a campaign of genocide. It's something similar. The Holocaust is the extermination of Jewish people in Europe. The Gaza genocide is the extermination of Palestinians in the Middle East by the Jewish state.
There is no famine in Gaza.
Here he is, the people's hero, Mr. David Menzer. He lost his neck.
There is a famine.
He gave up his neck to do propaganda for Israel. Don't say the Israeli government doesn't make any sacrifices. This guy literally gave up his neck to do Israeli propaganda.
Of the truth.
The Israelis blame aid agencies for not distributing food that's already been delivered. As we're hearing growing anger around the world about the famine conditions inside Gaza, the Israelis have brought us just inside Gaza now, where they're showing us all of this food aid that they say aid agencies haven't been picking up and distributing it to the people.
It's honestly so fucking insane because, like, because it's very... Oh, sorry, I thought there was, like, a bird at my window. But, like, he ate all the aid. But, like, I think that the thing is that, like, the reason that this hasn't been distributed is because, like, the UN has to, like, coordinate with Israel. Israel... Hold on, I'll see if I can find it. It was Danny Danon.
Who need it most. But the UN and other aid agencies say Israel's restrictive security conditions, as well as the dangers of operating inside Gaza, have made aid distribution extreme.
It's also, by the way, you know that, oh shit, I've mentioned this before. That Yasser Abu Shabab guy was literally cited by the UN as a key, like, fucking, this is the guy thieving aid. That he is constantly, literally killing truck drivers. So it's actually really hard to get aid in part, that reason. And, like, you know, he's just now, like, writing in the Wall Street Journal. This illiterate fucking drug-dealing, fucking, like, ISIS-linked guy who's, like, preventing aid being delivered. Like, Israel creates the problems.
Extremely difficult.
There is only one way to reverse this trajectory, and that is by enabling sustained and unrestricted flow of aid into Gaza and enabling us to carry out our work.
Well, as for a potential ceasefire deal, President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is headed home tonight, saying that Hamas has shown a lack of desire for a deal and is not acting in good...
By the way, once again, this is only understood in one way. The reason that there is no deal in the Gaza Strip is very simple. Hamas want an end to the genocide, Israel don't. Giving ISIS an opinion column, I mean, it's like, it's not surprising, bro. Like, giving ISIS an opinion column. Bro, they gave Al-Qaeda the presidency in Syria, so, you know, like...
Good faith.
Tonight.
But yeah, so this US government analysis found no evidence of massive Hamas theft of Gaza aid. None of it's true. And yet you still have, like, fucking people. Like, you are literally allowed to say anything that is pro-Israel. You can literally lie in justifying starvation. Like, it's not okay on social media to engage in Holocaust denial. So why the fuck is it okay to actively engage in starving people? Like, why is it okay to actively lie in favor of starving people? What is your degree in, please? I have 2 degrees. Middle Eastern Studies undergraduate, Middle Eastern Studies masters. Lying is OP. Yeah. And I mean, Holocaust denial is of course an atrocious thing. But so too is participating in an active genocide by lying so it happens. Like, lying so it goes on further, you know? It's kind of like as simple as that. It's kind of as simple as that, is what I'd say. And also, just on the topic of, like, why the UN isn't operating well in Gaza, here's this fucking freak, Danny Danon.
Israel will no longer grant automatic visas to OCHA's international staff. Visas will now be limited to 1 month's terms. What was will no longer be. Jonathan Whitehall, OCHA's head of office for the so-called
Sorry, it's really fucking quiet.
territories, has consistently and outrageously demonstrated his bias and agenda against the state of
He kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he actually kind of does.
Israel. He will not have his visa renewed and he will leave the country by July 29th. Today, I announce that Israel will take steps to ensure that what has been happening with OCHA will no longer continue. Hundreds of OCHA employees are undergoing security vetting. Key employees will not have their permits renewed following clear evidence of strong affiliation with Hamas.
I muted it again. Fuck's sake, I muted myself again. Like, it's just the fact that this guy is, like, actively saying this, and then, like, on the other hand, Israel's like, oh, we don't know why aid's not getting into the Gaza Strip. Oh, we don't know why. The UN just won't pick it up.
Some were even involved in the atrocity.
That's just enough of fucking that. Enough of that. We'll go back to listening to Trump.
And a lot of the food is stolen, but we're very much involved, and I think it's one of the main reasons for our meeting today.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing it today.
We'll be talking about...
It's also so funny that ostensibly Keir Starmer wants an end, and, like, he's just here, like, sucking up to Trump. He can't say anything back to him. This is a guy who made, and I must remind you, we're going to listen to it again. He's, like, stood here sucking up. That is whatever her name is, Victoria Starmer, right?
You free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance.
I'm really in awe of this video. Like, I really am in awe. I paused it on a very funny frame, but, like, I'm genuinely in awe of this video because of the fucking music. Like, the AI-generated fucking song going like, Trump Gaza is finally here!
Trump Gaza #1.
It's actually crazy. It is a crazy video. Like, I can't believe that that's a thing, and then it kind of just stopped.
Gaza.
But it's also just like, this guy sat here just like, yes, I'm the Prime Minister of England, you have to vote for me for the left wing or else the right wing gets into power. And it's just like, bro's literally just sat here sucking up to Donald Trump. Mr. Drumpf, the Cheeto Man, Orange Man Bad. Thank you, Charlie, for becoming a member. Shout out my guy.
Well, we want to get it going, but as you know, with Cambodia, they just announced a very big...
Yeah.
A very big...
I don't know anything about Cambodia. Like, well, I know about Cambodia, now, like, obviously, but yeah, Can you imagine Ilan Pape analysing the Trump-Gaza AI slop in a scholarly article in 200... No, because Ilan's like 80 already, so I think 200 years' time might be a bit much, you know.
Beyond it is peace. That was going to be a very...
Oh, and Ilan Pape. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
bad war. And so...
Yeah, Cambodia and Thailand just got... involved, and I had like a funny thing, but I can't show you because it involves Facebook. There was some guy who kept threatening to like beat me up because I attacked Jewish kids, and he was like, "I'll see you around Exeter and beat you up," and they just kept on commenting because there's another YouTube channel which some of you have seen. Someone called Sarah used to run it. I don't know if Sarah's still here. I'll show you it. Actually, you know what? No, because I'm not going to show you it. But as you can find it, it's just the other Chris Kunstler account that's not this one.
We're honored we got...
No, it's because the reason they said they were going to beat me, that they were going to beat me up, it was like a year ago. They were going to beat me up because I, like, attacked Jewish kids who were at University of Exeter. I attacked the poor Jewish kids from the University of Exeter. Oh, sorry, my thing's fucked.
Involved, and it's essentially settled. I think they're going to be settling it today, so it went for a few days. That was going to go on for years. That could have gone on for years. Millions of people could have been killed. We ended the war, and we're very happy about it.
The Prime Minister says that recognising the Palestinian state would be a concrete step towards a lasting peace. Do you agree with his position?
Well, I'm not going to take a position. I don't mind him taking a position. I'm looking for getting people fed. Right now, it's, to me, that's the #1 position.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You have a lot of starving people. You have people that, you know, the United States recently, just a couple of weeks ago, we gave $60 million. It's a lot.
He really likes talking about this. When did they give when did the US give 60 million? What is he talking about? I want to watch a fucking video of this.
Money. No other nation gave money. I know the Prime Minister would if he knew about it, and he really knows about it now because we're going to be discussing it. But we gave 60 million. Nobody said even thank you. You know, thanks. Somebody should say thank you.
I do not think the fucking music rocks.
But other nations are going to have to step up.
The music is making me feel awful. I hate this music. And CNN's just fucking driving my PC fucking crazy, so that's brilliant.
When I spoke to Ursula yesterday, she said that the...
Oh, thank God it's fucking stopped!
European nations are going to step up very substantially, too.
Can you discuss the importance of free speech today?
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are. But
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that.
Well,
we protect it.
What's your advice on the small boats crisis in this country? How would you deal with it? What's your advice on dealing with the small boats crisis in this country?
What is it?
The small boats
It's about the boats coming over the channel, so we're taking a lot of action to stop people coming over the channel who shouldn't be here, stopping them coming in the first place.
Well, look, immigration is a big factor, and I think, frankly, if they're coming from other countries and you don't know who they are, and
60 million to fund the starvation campaign. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean. Like, look, sorry, I was kind of focusing on something else because I just saw someone I know engaging with someone on Twitter. But yeah, like, free speech unless you support, of course, like, there's no free speech in the UK. There's no free speech at all. Like, there's no free speech on Palestine at all.
Are they coming from prisons? We have them where they came in from prisons. We're moving them all out. We had a border last June.
It's also crazy that you're just like a left winger just sat there, like, and we're meant to accept that this is just the best that we can get from the Labour Party, and that you should just vote for this because.
Last month, we had 0 people come into the country, 0, other than come.
Bagpipes activated the English epigenetic memories. Oh, God, they're just too loud.
Coming through.
Thank you. No. He's referring to the 30 million that the State Department gave to the GHF. Is he? I don't even know what he's talking about.
Legal means if you're stopping immigration and stopping the wrong people, I give my hats are off to you. You're doing not a good thing. You're doing a fantastic thing. So I know nothing about the boats.
Oh, they gave $30 million to yeah, you're right. US to give $30 million to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Because no one will fund this shit, because it's like a plan to do genocide. Like, that's just it. This is like as simple as that. It's a plan to facilitate the genocide and extermination of the Palestinian people. The State Department has already dispersed $7 million to the GHF and Israeli-backed aid organisations that have been given preferential access to operate in Gaza because it says that it can deliver millions of meals to starving people without the food. It's also so fucking funny because the entire premise of it is literally just false. Israel, like, the sadistic part about what Israel does is it created the situation where aid is looted. Hamas weren't looting aid, so what it needed to do was sponsor an ISIS-backed gang who would loot the aid. Okay, they then continually killed aid workers to make getting aid seem very unsafe, and they continually attacked the UN, World Central Kitchen, and all of these people, so as it was just an unsafe environment to deliver aid. And all of this is done with the purpose of just denying aid to the Palestinians to facilitate genocide.
But if the boats are loaded up with bad people, and they usually are, because, you know, other countries...
Also, on the topic of epigenetic English memory, Scotland forever!
Don't send their best. They send people that they don't want. And they're not stupid people. And they send the people that they don't want. And I've heard that you've taken a much stronger stance on immigration.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work stopping them coming. We just signed an agreement to return...
God, he's so pathetic. He literally looks like he's just fucking fanboying over being next to Trump. This guy's such a freak.
And we've returned 35,000, in fact, down the first year of this Labour government of people who shouldn't be in this country. So we're very pleased that we're getting on with returning people who've got no right to be here.
That's great. As somebody that loves this, I love this country. My mother was born in, as you know, my mother was born in Scotland. And it's
Scotland!
An incredible place, a beautiful place. And
we are talking about epigenetics, yes.
If that be the case, I congratulate you. That's exactly... Because, you know, Europe is a much different place than it was just 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And
Keir Starmer looks so fucking stupid. Like, genuinely, he looks so insanely stupid. Like, why is he pulling that fucking face?
They've got to get their act together. If they don't, you're not going to have Europe anymore as you know it. And you can't do that. This is
It's also so funny. What the fuck is Europe as we know it? And also just letting him say this in front of you.
Magnificent part of the world, and you cannot ruin it.
You told me about what King... Oh, no. I know what epigenetics are, but they were also talking about because there were really loud bagpipes and that I was British.
You cannot let people come in here illegally. And what happens is there'll be murderers, there'll be drug dealers, there'll be all sorts of things that other countries don't want. And they send them to you.
All sorts of things that other countries don't want.
And they send them to us. And you've got to stop them. And I hear that you've taken a very strong stand on immigration. And taking a strong stand on immigration is imperative.
Mr. President, Prime Minister Netanyahu said there's no starvation in Gaza. Do you agree with that assessment?
I don't know. I mean, based on television, I would say not particularly, because those children look very hungry. But we're giving a lot...
Those children look very hungry. Well done, man.
A lot of money and a lot of food. And other nations are now stepping up. I know that this nation is, right?
It's
here.
a humanitarian crisis.
Right.
It's
you are stood next to the guy who created the It is actually kind of fucking insane. Like, this guy is such a piece of shit. I am sorry. I actually don't give a fuck. Nigel Farage can win the next election for all I care. If the other option is vote for this guy. Like, bro, he's calling it a humanitarian crisis next to Donald Trump. That's the guy who's working hand in glove to do that with Israel. It is so insane that, like, oh, it's just the expectation that you're meant to vote for this guy. This is a guy, by the way, who brought to power Jeffrey Epstein's, like, BFF. Peter Mandelson. Look. In which a source close to claimed that Peter Mandelson, while serving, made a phone call to Epstein in order to set up a meeting. This is, by the way, after he was found out to be a paedophile. And this is also quite funny. In February of 2025, when asked about his relationship with Epstein by the Financial Times, Mandelson said, "I'm not going to go into this. It's an FT obsession. And frankly, you can all fuck off, okay?" But it's just like, this is like who we appoint in the UK, like Jeffrey Epstein friends. I'm sorry, I just don't want guys who bootlick Trump and people who are best friends with fucking Jeffrey Epstein. It's not normal. That's not what you should just have to vote for. Like, I will do anything to see something fucking different to this weird bullshit of just this fucking freak.
Absolutely catastrophe.
He's such a pathetic fucking worm.
And nobody wants to see that, and I think
nobody wants to see it. You're the ones creating it.
People in Britain are...
And your stupid wife's here as well to help you just stand there and provide you some more legitimacy. Like, it's insane. It's insane. Like, just utterly ridiculous. A pathetic worm of a man.
Revolted at seeing what they're seeing on their screen. So we've got to get to that ceasefire, and thank you, Mr. President, for leading.
Trump doesn't believe in a ceasefire. Why are you thanking him? It's so insane. It's so insane.
On that, and also to just get more and more aid in. And again, America's done a lot on this. A lot of countries have done a lot. We're now working with Jordan on getting...
Fuck Jordan.
Direct aid drops in, but this is a desperate...
You know the airdrops do fucking nothing. They're like a tiny amount of... they're like a tiny amount compared to trucks going in. And the only reason that trucks aren't going in is because you lot have regurgitated Israel's bullshit.
Situation.
Are you going to think Israel has done all it?
Yeah, but did you know his father was a tool maker? Oh, yeah. His father was a tool maker. Oh, I forgot. Lighting my own house on fire. It's such a shame that this is happening. No, it would be more like lighting someone else's house on fire and then saying, oh, it's a humanitarian catastrophe that they've all got fucking third-degree burns. Oh, yeah, Jordanians. Jordanians are chill. The Jordanian government, well, it's more the Jordanian monarchy. That's where I hate.
Candles for all civilian casualties in that.
Well, I think nobody's done anything great over there. The whole place is a mess. It'll get straightened out, but it's a mess. They have to get food and meantime, food and safety right now. And ultimately, look, Hamas did a horrible thing, and they paid a big price, but Hamas did a horrible thing. But I always said, when you get down to the last 20 or 10, they're down to 20. We got a lot of hostages out. And
you got a lot of hostages out by lying and then creating a situation where Hamas are just like, yeah, we're not doing this unless we have really strong guarantees. Like, it's so funny where they're all like, oh yeah, this is all because of what Hamas does.
You helped us, by the way. Yeah, but we got a lot of hostages out over the last 6 months that I've been in. I've been in office for 6 months now. And these hostages have been... many of them have come to the
Also, who is fucking filming this? Why is it so shaky?
Oval Office, and they've thanked me so profusely. I said,
the person filming it is just going like...
have to thank me. I did what I have to do. But I always said when you get down to the final 20, they won't release them. Because that's like their shield. Very unfair. And so something...
I love the way he phrases things. Very unfair. Bro, maybe starving people and doing genocide is a lot fucking worse than holding hostages. Israel has tens of thousands of hostages, doctors, thousands upon thousands of people held under administrative detention. A process that they have used for far longer than post-October the 7th.
Things going to have to be done. And they were really unwilling to talk. But I've said that. You'll get down to the final 10 or 20. It turns out to be 20. I thought that would be the number. I said, they're not going to be dealing with us. And, many of the hostages are now dead. You know that. And parents come up to me.
And also, I think that this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. The title's just a straight up lie. I need to put a question mark after it, but I put a full stop. Pressure on Israel to bring aid into Gaza. This is ostensibly the man pressuring them stood next to fucking the guy who was doing the ethnic cleansing. It makes the press briefing more exciting. Reminder, the most of hostages were released under a ceasefire that was identical to one proposed 6 months prior to that. Meanwhile, Israel has killed more than they've rescued. 100%. 100%. And Hamas holding hostages. They are literally just holding them so Israel doesn't carry out a full-on genocide and extermination of the Palestinian people. If Hamas lay down their arms, Israel is going to expel and genocide every single Palestinian person. Definitely will.
A woman came up to me 2 weeks ago. She just wants her son back. And I said, how's he doing? My son's dead, sir, but he's with them, and we want the body. She wanted the body of this young boy, of her young, beautiful...
She... I was gonna say it! The body of a young, beautiful boy. Trump wants the body of a young, beautiful woman from his best friend, Jeffrey Epstein.
Son, just as much as if he were alive. It was just as important. There was no difference.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's tragic. Hamas did a bad thing. But, like, I don't know. It's so good to be with Israel's key man. So also, by the way, I am never relenting on the fact that Biden is just as bad as this fucking freak. This fucking freak just states it openly. Also, Michael Caine has been posting, like, just... Michael Caine's tweeting is really fucking weird. This is the guy who's, like, famous for going, blow the bloody doors off. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off in the Italian job. The Italian job. Cannot look at children in Gaza begging for food. Geldof, feed kids! Want to allow the innocent life. Feed the children of Gaza. No child should be starving. Day of action. This guy is like reform, I think. I think he's like pro-reform and like he's a bit of an odd guy. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Michael Caine is still alive. He's also Alfred in Batman. That's probably where most of you would know him from. Cannot look at children in Gaza begging for food. Geldof, feed kids. Feed children. Respect children. They are innocent. Well, Trump doesn't respect children because he and Epstein, you know what they were up to with those goddamn kids.
Difference. And it's a tragic situation, frankly. But we get a lot out, and now possibly the fight will have to be a little bit different. But they have totally changed now. They don't want to give hostages. Very unfair. You have 20 living people. In this case, living. You have many dead people too that they want to get
a long time as well.
Yeah, they have 20 living people, and I told Israel, I told Bibi that you're gonna have to now maybe do it a different way.
Do you think a ceasefire is even possible, Mr. President?
Yeah, a ceasefire is possible, but you have to get it. You have to end it. You're talking about with Israel's. You're talking about there because we have many ceasefires.
We have many ceasefires. Oh, God. It's so weird. It's so weird. He's much better than Dementia Grandpa. Yeah, but I mean, the funny thing is like, all these people who say, like, yeah, they're so different. Like, look what's happening to the Palestinians now. This is exactly the same shit that fucking Joe Biden did, by the way. Just going, oh, yeah, we don't have a ceasefire. Oh, no, we don't have a ceasefire. And it's just like, yeah, you don't have a ceasefire because... Like, sorry, you don't have a ceasefire because of Israel, the people who you unequivocally support.
The whole world is... If I weren't around, you'd have right now 6 major wars going on. India would be fighting with Pakistan.
No, they wouldn't.
You see what we just did yesterday with 2 nations that we're trading with.
He's also forgotten the names of Thailand and Cambodia.
And during the trade, I said, I'm not going to do any trade deal unless you guys settle your differences. And we got it settled in 24 hours. I mean, they just announced it was settled, which was a tremendous thing. But Serbia, Kosovo is another one. We have many hotspots that were at war. I think a very big one was India and Pakistan, because you're talking about 2 nuclear nations. That was a very big one. And we get help from the UK, the Prime Minister.
Wait, what? Like, what is he talking about there?
Helped. We have
America literally responsible for a lot of this. Oh, 100%. 100%. America, and also Britain and its history of colonialism. He's actually a freak. Well, I mean, you're going to have to be more specific here, because both of these people are fucking freaks. Like, look at just this limp-dicked fucking wanker, Keir Starmer. Like, this is the lesser of 2 evils. Just stood here, like, bootlicking Trump as Trump just, like, says shit.
Cases where we specifically need the help because somebody comes from here that you're aware of. And, you know, when you come from a country, you can do things. And I call up the Prime Minister, and all of a sudden, he's able to do things. True also with other presidents and prime ministers. But we've done it. Nobody's ever done what we've done. We have 6 different major if you take a look at Rwanda and the Congo, Republic of the Congo, they've been fighting for 31 years, 8 million people dead,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Rwanda and the Congo, but in my understanding, they were just trying to fucking profiteer off it.
It's going on. Nobody could go to that part of Africa. They were being killed. If to even walk there, you're being killed with machetes.
What? Bro, also, by the way, this guy is just insane. Like, he is losing his marbles. They're being killed there with machetes.
And it was a violent situation. And I was able...
Yeah, how is can you be both a limp-dicked wanker? Yes. Because limp dick's not actually describing having a limp dick. It's just describing someone who's just like a bit of a fucking meager, pathetic little worm. Also, like the stream now.
They liked...
Now.
Trump. They wanted to make a trade deal with Trump. They wanted us to take their rare earth.
Bro, I promise you, the next couple of... Trump is going to lose it. Trump is genuinely going to just, like, go cuckoo, I reckon, because he's eating. He eats like shit. Bro, all of that McDonald's and Diet Coke is going to turn his brain into sludge pretty soon. Rare earth.
They want to give us their rare earth. And I got to know the leader of the Congo. I got to know both of them indirectly. And I called him. I said, let's end the war. I don't want anything until you end the war. And we ended the war. As you know, the foreign ministers came up 2 weeks ago, and the leaders are going to be coming very shortly to Washington, Rwanda and Congo. I mean, that's another one that we did. So we've done a lot. It's an honor to do it. It's not hard for me to do it. And I use, not in all cases, but I use a combination of knowing them a little bit, or in some cases knowing them a lot. I knew, you know, the leaders of Pakistan and India. I know them very well.
He doesn't know their names. He doesn't know their names because he would say Narendra Modi. He would say Modi. He would 100% say Modi if he could remember it. He's losing it.
And, you know, they're in the midst of a trade deal, and yet they're talking about nuclear weapons. I say, this is crazy. So I said, I'm not doing a trade deal with you guys. And they want the trade deal. They need it. I'm not doing a trade deal with you if you're going to have war. And that's a war that spreads to other countries. You'll get nuclear dust. We'll all get nuclear dust. When they start using nuclear weapons...
Why? Like, bro, this is also... Keir Starmer is committing the crime of elder abuse here for indulging him in his weird... fantasies. Sorry, I'm just tweeting that I'm out here. I also just saw a fucking crazy tweet. Apparently... Oh, well, we'll finish this and then we'll
that
talk
stuff
about
blows all over the place and really bad things happen. So maybe we're being a little selfish when we want to save wars too. But we stopped a lot of wars, and it's a great honor to have done it. Thank you all very much. We're going to be talking inside about...
They're going to have sex. Him and Keir Starmer are going to have sex.
Very much about Gaza.
I fucking know it.
Gaza and the humanitarian aspects of Gaza.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to talk about Epstein, and he'll be like, I hear you brought Epstein's good friend Peter in. He would have liked that. He would have liked that. Jeffrey was a great man. He liked young women, just like me. Some of them a bit too young, though. Not like me.
Mr. President, what about Russia and Ukraine? You're talking about ceasefires. What's the latest?
I would have said 5 times we would have had a deal. I've spoken to President...
I quite like Adam Curtis. I like... I've only seen Can't Get You Out of My Head and Hypernormalization, I think. Oh, wait, which is the one about 9/11? The Power of Nightmares. I've seen that, not Hypernormalization.
Putin a lot. I got along with him very well. But 5 times and every...
Jeffy Epi. I hear you gave Prince Andrew a pass, though. Yeah. Prince Andrew's brilliant. He's a real heartthrobber. Jeffy Epi.
4 times maybe, but we've had discussions. You and I have had discussions. Yeah. We thought we had that settled numerous times. And then President Putin goes out and starts launching rockets into some city like Kiev and kills a lot of people in a nursing home or what.
Like, what are you even talking about at this point? Oh shit, I've accidentally just started inspecting element. Guys, I put up a little poll in chat for you guys to vote on.
Whatever, you have bodies lying all over the street. And I say, that's not the way to do it. So we'll see.
That is not the way to do it.
What happens with that? I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed in President Putin. Very disappointed in him. So we're going to have to look, and I'm going to reduce that 50 days that I gave him to.
Both are associates of Jeffrey Epstein from the UK.
A lesser number because
Tom McKinnock accuses Dems of helping illegal migrants. Oh, goodness me. The bells are going off. I'm going to have to shout. Right, this is a fucking crazy tweet. Apparently, this is the world's highest ever temperature, albeit like an airstrip, but it is insanely hot in the Middle East right now. Sorry. Help make the workday. Thank you, Sunflower Dragon. I'm glad that you're tuning in. Glad that I can help with work. Thanks for the support as always. Goat of what? I'd say kind of like who's just the better of the Jeffrey Epstein associates. Like the goat of like weirdness. Because, you know, but I think Prince Andrew just wins that fucking hands down. He looks guilty. Of course he's guilty. You guys don't know who Prince Andrew is? Are you serious? Dun 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 dun.
July of this year, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and abusing dozens of underage girls. One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have bath, possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat.
Is there a medical condition that prevents you from sweating? Anhydrosis is a complete inability to sweat. I think I probably have some kind of crazy thing involving sweating on my back, but fuck knows. But like, yeah, like, this is Prince Andrew. I'm surprised that more of you don't know who this is, because this is just bizarre.
Or I didn't sweat at the time, and that was, oh actually, yes. I didn't sweat at the time because I had...
God, I forgot that he went to Pizza Express, that Pizza Express thing.
Suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at, and I simply it was almost impossible for me to sweat. On that particular day that we now understand is the date, which is the 10th of
That's a classic thing. It happens to the best of us when we get shot at during the Falklands War.
March. I was at home. I was with the children. I'd taken Beatrice to a Pizza Express in Woking.
Why would you remember that so specifically? Why would you remember a Pizza Express birthday and being at home?
Because going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing.
I forgot how fucking funny this is. Like, why did he give this interview? Like, honestly, why did he give this? Why would you say this? Why would you do these things?
For me to do. A very unusual thing for me to do. I've only been through Woking a couple of times, and I remember it weirdly distinctly. But as soon as somebody reminded me of it, I went, oh yes, I remember that.
Oh, Pizza Express, you know, it can be an absolute treat for the ages. But yeah, I mean, this is fucking crazy. Apparently, like, this wouldn't surprise me. Like, England has been insane this summer. Like, this is one of the first summers in England that I can remember that we've had so little fucking rain. It has barely rained in the UK. Oh, sorry, actually, I probably should just read the chat. He doesn't enjoy pizza. Pizza Express, Pizzagate slippage. I mean, like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's... You know what? Like, I could imagine that this guy doesn't go to Pizza Express all that much. But the idea that he would remember that so specifically and that he doesn't sweat, I just don't know why you say it. I genuinely don't know why you would say these things. Like, what is the merit? You just made yourself look so fucking stupid and so guilty. And just on this topic, we'll talk about this. My enemy, Azealia Banks, who was talking about, like, black people and supporting Palestine. Chris, do you like Pizza Express? I do like Pizza Express. I do enjoy Pizza Express, although it was a little disappointing the last time I went, I must say. But now he can sweat again. Thank God he can sweat again. Creepy face. I see that this has not influenced the vote much. I thought you'd all be going for Prince Andrew being the GOAT. That is a goated interview. He's done very well at covering his ass. Like, do you all believe him? Because I certainly believe him. I know that I, for one, am very convinced that he had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein or abusing young women. Do you know also, I learnt about this. This was barely talked about. Read this. She recalls a scene. So this is Miss Soyberg. Soyberg. Miss Soyberg's statement. She recalls a scene in which Maxwell, who was later jailed for sex trafficking offences, had shown them a puppet of Prince Andrew, which was intended as a great joke, and they decided to take a picture with it, in which Virginia and Andrew sat on a couch. They put the puppet on Virginia's lap, and I sat on Andrew's lap, and they put the puppet's hand on Virginia's breast, and Andrew put his hand on my breast, and they took a photo, says Miss Soyberg's deposition. Pressed by lawyers on the seating arrangement, she said, whether we were on a couch or a chair, I just remember the boobs part, the hand on the boobs. So he had a puppet made of himself, and they put the puppet on his boobs? Like, I'm not so sure. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like... Unbelievable, really. That this is just a guy... unbelievable that this is just a guy that's, like, a member of the royal family. Also make you sweat when you're coming off meds. I didn't know that. I'm not coming off meds, though, so I'm just sweaty. Isn't that the lobster from Futurama? It could well be. It could well be the lobster from Futurama. Zoidberg. Zoidberg. God, I'm sweating. I'm sweating myself now after finding out about that. But, like, here you go. Here's Azealia Banks, Israel's #1 defender who was in the 212. Okay, in Donald Trump's defense, fucking 14-year-old girls was really only made a social taboo in the 1990s. My grandmother was born in 1927 and had her first child when she was 12. Crazy statement to make. Teenage pregnancy only became frowned upon with the rise of Jerry Springer, and I also can be honest about the fact that I was old enough to choose, seduce, and decide to fuck grown-ass men when I was 15. I really don't get why women are fronting like they weren't fucking 40-year-olds at 15. Like, come on now. This is a crazy thing to say. This is just an unbelievable thing to say. Like, unbelievable words. Unbelievable things to say. Really, a truly amazing thing that you would ever dare to say this. I'm honestly not surprised or mad at Trump for getting some... This is actually just... I feel dirty fucking reading this. 15-year-old pussy, because those were the times. Good night, USA, for fucking ever. Now, if he was fucking a 10-year-old, we have a problem. But if the girls were 13 plus, who cares? Move on. Like, genuinely, who says this? Who, why did you tweet this? Why did you tweet this? Like, what goes through your mind? Didn't she dig up her dead cat as well? Like, I've heard people saying that she dug up her dead cat. This is someone who is deranged and just like, I mean, yeah, I guess like supporting Israel is just crazy. Like, you just, like, Israel is trying to dig up from the depths of hell to find the worst people imaginable to support it. Sorry, I've got this fucking frog in my throat. But yeah, amazing stuff is happening on X, the everything app. I mean, it's also a very arbitrary line of, like, if the girls are 13 plus, like, why is it at 12 that you think that that's, like, not on, but 13 is fine? It's really impressive from Azealia Banks. Oh, shit. I don't know what I just pulled up. Not on, but I remember she had a phase where she was doing witchcraft and had a room where she had this chicken gore. Really, that's insane. I mean, actually, it's not that surprising. This is, I guess, supporting Israel does crazy things to an MFer. Sorry, I'm watching my stream just quickly. I'm just checking something. Hang on. How are people surviving 64 degrees centigrade? Because it'll only be in a certain place. It's like 51 degrees generally in Baghdad and really inhabited places, seemingly. She's a Zionist. Yeah, she is a Zionist. She came out as a Zionist not all that long ago. She used to be like vaguely pro-Palestine, but then just became a Zionist. So yeah, I mean, crazy really. Remember to like your stream, bro. I'm not liking my own stream, but you should get MF liking. So Bob Geldof, has been up to some shit. But actually, just on this topic, on this topic of it being this hot, like, let's just actually look about, it's apparently currently 43 degrees in Baghdad. Every day this week is like, is nearly like 50 degrees. I'm just seeing if there's much reporting on it. Like, it's like 46, 44. All of the websites talking about it, are... So this is from earlier this year, and it kind of talks about, there's a lot of issues. So this is from April. This is far higher than 2 decades ago, where they would rarely exceed 50 degrees. I mean, this is also, by the way, why, like, the refugee crisis is just going to get so much worse. I've spoken about this before. I just want to see... I think... I'll just do it before. I think it's something to do with power grids buckling. And also because you just need more energy to pump out, like, AC and all of these things. But also, it's so dangerous because you are kind of fucked because you just can't have, like, any, you can't use refrigerators, you can't use, freezers. It's like, what is happening is horrifying. Horrifying. Israel really likes to buy streamers and influencers. A guy related to Netanyahu was a tour guide for Destiny and Lonerbox. I didn't know that, but I mean, I don't know if that... I think it was some guy from the fucking New York Times who took them around the West Bank. I would... Israel has brought me up. Next stream, I'm just going to come on and I'm going to be like, guys, I recently had a stroke and I've now started supporting Israel. But yeah, like, the things that are happening in Iraq, and, like, all of the Middle East. I mean, how hot is it? Is there, like, a heat wave? Turkey's Slop district hits 50 degrees, while parts of Greece reached 46. As extreme heat continues to rise across multiple regions, record-breaking temperatures in parts of the Mediterranean, Europe, Asia, the US and the Middle East this week, with forecasters warning that extreme heat will persist for the coming days. This is just so fucking worrying. Like, this is genuinely just so fucking worrying. Like, what's fucking happening? But, of course, you know, we just kind of have to ignore it and just sort of, like, be okay with, like, left-wing politicians who aren't, like, working as hard as they possibly can to prevent this, you know? But yeah, that's a crazy tweet. I don't know. Really. But yeah, that's crazy. Imagine how hot it is to, like, live in that. Like, I couldn't even picture it. I can barely survive 30 degrees. What are we to do without our precious fossil fuels? It's a hard life. I mean, I know I certainly love my fossil fuels. I can't help but use shitty plastic goods. Right, let's learn about why people are talking about Bob Geldof.
Very strongly about the situation in Gaza this week. What made you want to get into it now?
It's a little late. Is this the first thing he's written about this?
Like everyone else, I would have an opinion about the war itself and its conduct on both sides, but that opinion would be precisely the same as the next.
You Algerians love this stream. Manar's Algerian. There was someone else saying that Algerian. Now Yehu is saying this. I'd love to visit Algeria.
Guy in the bar.
I'd like to visit the places where you kick those damn French colonizers out.
When it comes to famine and starvation, I think I have a right to speak. I've had 40 years of doing this. I was a founding patron of the Genocide Aegis Trust for Genocide Studies, which is an arm of the National Holocaust Museum in the UK. And to be honest with you, Trevor, it enrages me to a point beyond comprehension when I see the images that Sky News were publishing and what Dr. Maynard was reporting.
Also, by the way, I don't know if any of you saw this. Adam Tooze is like a bit of a fucking lib in my understanding. His podcast's interesting. The one on the economics of the Holocaust was really fucking good. But this was just a quote that Adam Tooze put out recently. Across the hunger hotspots of the world in 2025, what is the percentage of the population that is at risk? In Nigeria, mainly in the north, it is 1/6 of the population. In Myanmar and the DRC, it is roughly 1/4 of the population. In Yemen, Sudan, South Sudan, and Haiti, the places most commonly cited in arguments about the application of special standards to Israel, the share of the population at risk is between 49 and 57. In Gaza, the share is 100%. The risk of famine is total. Sorry, my door just opened and then closed on its own. What does Tony Soprano... Tony Soprano loves this anti-French slander. She loves it. But yeah, that's Adam Tooze talking on the starvation in Gaza like an economist at Columbia.
Reporting from inside Gaza. And at that point...
Yeah, surprisingly, the analysis on the Holocaust and... you know what? In today's world, like, it wouldn't surprise me. I've also just searched Azealia Banks and... I'm glad I don't show you my Twitter because there is a very inappropriate video which I'm not even going to start talking about here.
I thought that the 40th anniversary of Band Aid, my own past and history with this, I thought I should say something now.
The Israeli view is that there is actually no famine caused by Israel. There's a man-made shortage. But it's been engineered by Hamas. I guess Israelis would say we don't see much criticism from your side of Hamas.
It's also just so ridiculous. Like, the famine has nothing to do with Hamas. Like, I'm sure Hamas have stored aid for years and have prepared a way of, like, looking after people because it is probably, like, dried or long-life food and stuff that has been kept in the tunnels. But, yeah, I just don't think that they need to steal it, you know.
That's a false equivalence, and the Israeli authorities are lying.
I like how frank he is. And also, yeah, Italiophobia is what needs to be addressed. That's the real plight of modern society. Hello, Shakespeare. It's been a while.
They're lying, did you say?
They're lying. Netanyahu lies, is a liar. The IDF are lying. They're dangling food in front of starving, panicked, exhausted mothers. And while they arrive to accept the tiny amount of foods that this sort of set up pantomime outfit, the Gaza Humanitarian Front, I would call it, as they dangle it, then they're shot wantonly. This month, up to now, 1,000 children or 1,000 people have died of starvation.
It's also just, by the way, like, truly unbelievable. Like, that is more people than October the 7th, and you've just had Keir Starmer. Like, what happens in Gaza is, like, some abstract tragedy that's really bad that you should just be like, oh, I don't like the humanitarian situation. But October the 7th has to be condemned over and over again. Whereas, this is just like... oh, they killed 1,000 people at aid sites. Like, insane. Like, they literally dangled the aid in front of him. He puts it well. And then they just shot them because they could. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm really not interested in what either of these sides are saying. when you target infants and...
Well, I think you probably should say that, like, hey, Israel is the one consistently lying.
Children, when their wounds are no longer capable of healing, when breastfeeding mothers can no longer do this, then everything goes out the window. Talk about recognizing Palestinian states. This, at this point, is a kind of virtue signaling. It's academic. It doesn't matter. This wanton criminality must stop.
But then also, by the way, this is kind of why this lib statement is annoying, because it's like, I don't care what both sides are saying. Motherfucker, you are talking about one side who is doing these evil, evil things. Like, Hamas didn't dangle aid in front of people on October the 7th just to shoot them in, like, some sadistic game. Like, Israel's killed 1,000 people doing that.
Immediately. As an instrument of war...
the Israelis would say
famine and malnutrition.
Oh, here we go. We're finally gonna hear what the Israelis are gonna say. The most important thing in the world
is a crime.
Just as a matter of fact, the Israelis would say that there are over 700 trucks sitting inside Gaza waiting for the United Nations to collect them, and they say that this is a result of the UN's own incompetence that this material, these food is there. And I don't think there's any argument that food is there, is there?
It's kind of, I like how frank this is, because it's like, they are lying. Because that's it. They are lying. This is all it is. I've said this before. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Goodbye Lenin, but there's a quote in Goodbye Lenin. It's like, hold on. I'll see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, motherfucker. I have to log in with Google. Oh. They're making me log in to look at the flashcards. Oh, fuck. I have to log in to look at some fucking flashcards for a fucking... to mention for 1 point. Oh, Jesus Christ. This website is just like trying to fuck me. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Goodbye Lenin. It's an alright film. Here you go. Right. I've got it here now. On this day, as I stared into the clouds, it became clear to me that the truth was a dubious affair that I could easily match up to my mother's familiar perception. I think it's just this film that's about, like, once you start lying, you can just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and manipulate the truth. And that's all Israel does. Zionism is just a lie. Like, everything about Zionism is a lie. It's a lie that the land was empty. It's a lie that Palestinians are just going to lie down and all of these things. It's just bullshit. It's just a complete and utter lie. How has the internet for babies treated you? And I've not read the B'Tselem thing. I might have a look at that after.
Fair-minded. I don't. I know this stuff back to front. Band-Aid deals with these sort of people all the time. They're lying. And this is a disgrace. And if the news feeds and social feeds weren't so censored in Israel, I imagine that the Israeli people would not permit what has been done in their name.
Yeah, this is why he's a fucking lib. No. The Israelis like this. They don't give a fuck. This is the funny thing. Like, Israel doesn't give a fuck at all. And it's kind of like the people who live in Israel don't give a solitary fuck about Palestinian people. They don't care at all.
You actually say in terms that what we're seeing in Gaza is the responsibility of the whole Israeli people. But
I know you were talking about that.
I think
the censored internet, I mean.
You'd accept that Mr. Netanyahu doesn't command a majority of the voters in Israel, and
It doesn't matter! They're all gonna vote for the same people! They're gonna vote for someone like Naftali... What's Naftali Bennett saying? From Washington, D.C., I report that Israel is collapsing, Bennett said on his X account. Bennett, who served confronting a tsunami of accusations, a hunger narrative pushed by Hamas and the UN, and fabricated images and lies about Israel. Bro, that's the opposition. This is the guy who's in second place. No, sorry, this is the guy who's in pole position to take over. He says the same shit. This is a deranged and ill society. This is a very sick society.
He faces regular demonstrations against the war. Isn't it a bit unfair to blame all Israelis for this?
No, blame them all. It's because there is such a tiny amount of Israelis. It's not even 10% of the population. We haven't seen... When Sabra and Shatila happened... Wait, hold on. Shatila. Sorry, I keep saying Shatila as if it's tortilla. Look at this. On 25th of September, Peace Now, which had been established 4 years previously, organised in Tel Aviv a protest demonstration which brought to the streets some 10% of Israel's population, an estimated 400,000. I actually think that that's 20% of the adult population. You don't even see 10% coming out for a far bigger crime than Sabra and Shatila. And Sabra and Shatila was heinous.
No, because they're the ones at war. Their government is at war in their name. Whatever about the origins of this war, and I would completely agree with everyone as to what happened on October the 7th, inhumane, disgusting, and disgraceful. But we're way past that now. We're down to some base level of bestiality. And if the
calling it bestiality is a bit of an interesting way to phrase it.
Israeli people are aware of what's been done in their name, and you've had on Sky News Dr. Maynard reporting exactly where people are being targeted as they queue for food. Let me just finish this. Yes. And they're being used, quote, as target practice, so that one day they're targeted at their abdomens, the next day young men are targeted in their testicles. Trevor, please, anyone watching this, please, we're way beyond the protestations of this government who are stacked with extremists. And Netanyahu has now gone beyond anything he proposed as his war aim. He's flailing.
This is also the thing. Did he go way beyond it? He told you. He said, remember Amalek. You heard these things, like all of these things that were said. All of this shit. You heard their ministers talk about this. You heard Britain's Prime Minister in waiting, Keir Starmer, say Israel has the right to do these things. Cut off electricity, food, water, fuel. He said that Israel has that right.
And the object, the subject of this...
Also, this guy has got some very loud seagulls in the background.
...explaining is these children. And honestly, I don't want to hear from Hamas. I don't want to hear from Netanyahu. Stop this by any means right now.
The Israeli Defense Force, of course, would contest your description.
He can't resist it.
Of what is happening around
of
those
course they do.
Stations. And
show me an army behaving like they do who doesn't.
But I think
there's literally no. By the way, do you want to hear something crazy? So we'll go back to this video.
To northern Gaza, where these pallets of food will be dropped from the aircraft to people on the ground. We were given quite a clear and strict pre-flight briefing that the Israelis have said we're not allowed to film any shots of Gaza from the air, and that if we do, these airdrop flights could either be cancelled or delayed. International journalists haven't been allowed access to Gaza since the war started, despite immense pressure and growing demands. And it seems they don't want us to show you images of Gaza from the air either.
This is crazy. They let them go do the propaganda, but they're not allowed to show anything from the air because of the level of destruction. The level of destruction in Gaza is worse than Hiroshima. It is worse than Nagasaki. It stands out from any example in any modern warfare. And by the way, I'll say again, Ethan Klein's approved pro-Palestinian loner box said that Israel needed to do it because Because all of the buildings were booby-trapped.
I think that the issue here is we can see demonstrations weekly by Israelis against their own government.
Not enough, mate.
And the point I'm really just making...
Why is Bob Geldof just being a lib sometimes and then just being based? Not enough, mate. Not enough.
Isn't it a bit unfair to say this is the Israelis as a whole?
Stop it. Stop it, Trevor. What's unfair is what's happening to these babies. What's unfair is that image that you showed us. That's unfair. 1 hour from... I've been in Gaza. I've been in the West Bank. I've been in Israel many times. What's unfair is that 1 hour from the hunger, people are sitting down to their unthreatened dinners to turn on the next Netflix soap. 1 hour. So if Israelis want to protest, get in your cars.
Well, because there's a difference between looking at satellite imagery and having very clear imagery of how bad the destruction is in Gaza from like a full aerial view. That has not happened. That would kind of be unprecedented.
This is very Bob stuff, I know. Sorry about that. Okay. Get in your cars, stuff your cars full of food and drive through that border and let your own army stop you. Stop it. You guys stop it. Shame on you.
But one other thing I just want to say about your argument, about your article before we come on to talk about our own government. You say that the Israelis will sit down to unthreatened dinners and soap operas on TV. But I think an Israeli would be saying to you now, whatever the...
Oh no, the poor Israelis! Oh no, someone think of the Israelis!
Truth about what's happening as you've described it. Even before October the 7th, before that atrocity, they would say that there were people under constant attack from the
Jesus fucking Christ.
Iranians, from the Houthis, from Hezbollah, from Hamas. They do have reason to be fearful, don't they?
They do indeed, and I entirely...
Only because they're doing genocide.
...support and endorse the state of Israel. This is not part of this. This is about using infants as instruments of war and starving... Trevor, there are very few people watching this program have held or seen or heard babies dying of hunger or seen the panicked mothers or the fathers and their failure to take care of their children. Just stop. Just stop.
What do you make of our own government's reaction so far?
Not enough. And, you know...
He seems to be a bit libbed out, but at least he's dealing with this interview quite well.
This is a distractive thing about, let's recognise the state. Absolutely. It should have been done ages ago. But it's not going to make any material difference. Please, Labour MPs, stop signing your letters. You know, stop Prime Minister and that. You know, it's a plain fact that David Lammy would like to immediately recognise it. It's a plain fact Keir Starmer probably would.
He does actually look a bit like Heath Ledger Joker.
But he's got Trump, you know, up in Scotland. It's probably, he feels it's in Britain's greater interest to stay as close to the US, especially with this.
Right, this is actually a problem. Belgium didn't arrest 2 Israeli soldiers. They arrested them for disturbing the peace. Like, what those soldiers were actually arrested for was basically flying a flag of the Givati Brigade. It wasn't actually the war crimes. They probably had committed war crimes and they were arrested, but they were then released. That's kind of the major issue with that story. Like, it would have been good had that happened.
Variable president at the moment. So there's big pictures in there, but enough. Guys, focus on the issue to hand. It isn't the recognition of the state. That will come inevitably, and the sooner the better. But that isn't the issue with what you are telling us nightly, Trevor. The issue is, can we stop these children and their exhausted and panicked mothers?
Yeah, I think that the recognition of the state of Palestine, by the way, is just like the two-state solution. I've said this before. The two-state solution is just bollocks, and they use it as a means to actually take serious action on Palestine.
As you yourself reported, children, or as the FT reported today, children are taking a teaspoonful of salt and as much water as they can drink to fill their bellies. Who are we? Who are we? In Bristol this week, they created the 4th largest computer that can do 23 quintillion deductions in a second. And children are taking a teaspoonful of salt and a belly full of water down the road. Shut up. What have we become that we can do this miracle and perpetuate this atrocity, this agony? Honestly, Trevor, seriously, beyond argument, can we all just focus on what's important?
Bob, just before I let you go, can I just ask you very briefly about one other area where I know Band-Aid is active and which, if you like, once you can
that was actually a while ago, the computer news.
Compare disasters.
Everything computer.
But is equally worthy, I think, of our attention, and that is Sudan. What should we... do you have any...
Pressure the United Arab Emirates.
Any hope of peace there?
No, you're right, Trevor. Band-Aid is active there. If these gang-raped women and their broken bodies and minds can get over the line with their starving kids, then we'll do our best to try and give them some sort of hope for life. But the reality is, as Boston University reported, since February the 1st this year, when Musk, that deeply troubled person, cackled the richest... I mean, look, the strongest nation on earth, the most powerful man on the planet, and the richest individual ever seen in the history of the world, decided with glee to feed, in their words, USAID to the chipper. The net result is that so far 300,000 people have died, according to Boston University, and the Lancet, of all papers, reported 14 million would die before 2030 because of this policy. USAID have shut down all their work in Sudan, and as a result, currently about 2 million children are...
Yeah, you're right. Band-Aid is, ironically, a very accurate name. It is just a Band-Aid. It doesn't solve the real problem, but...
...dying of hunger, again, as a deliberate instrument of war, and there's no one to...
Yeah, I think it is particularly... And what makes it even more annoying about Sudan being used in that way, so disingenuously by these people, is that it's being done by a Western ally, a key ally of Israel for making the Middle East the way it is, the United Arab Emirates.
Take care of them, and there's no one to report on it. So the world is not a nice place, but where we can do something, where we can possibly tilt it a little towards justice and fairness, then we should. And that will be Israel at the moment.
Bob Geldof, thank you very much for your time.
Better than stick in the eye aid. Yeah, it does sound better. Right. So we got more Trump Epstein stuff. He's had another day with his best friend Keir Starmer.
That I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down. But
I never had the privilege of going to the island.
A lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island. In one of my very good moments, I turned it down. I didn't want to go to his island. Yeah.
Oh, he may never have gone to the island. It doesn't matter. Like he was still allegedly doing crazy stuff with his. He was always doing crazy stuff with Epstein, I reckon. Like there was that thing that came out recently about the letter he sent, and there's also the comments about Epstein liking them young. It's just unbelievable, really, but right, let's have a look at this B'Tselem thing.
זה בלתי נתפס, אבל כמעט שנתיים שישראל מבצעת ג'נוסייד בפלסטין.
How are the captions doing? This needs to be up here. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cover that.
ברצועת עזה. ג'נוסייד הוא דבר שלא אמור לקרות, לא פה ולא בשום מקום ולא בכלל. זה מסוג הדברים שפשוט לא יכולה להיות להם הצדקה. לא האמנו שנכתוב את הדוח הזה אי פעם, אבל אנחנו גם חיים בתוך מציאות שלא האמנו שנגיע אליה. על סמך המידע
Based on the information and figures collected,
שהצטברו ועל בסיס ניתוח עמוק ויסודי של הסיטואציה, ברור לנו שישראל פועלת באופן מכוון ומתואם להביא להרס טוטלי.
Israel has been trying to also, by the way, I'm sorry, like, I think that there's often this thing of like kind of waiting until like B'Tselem says something about something. The truth is the genocide could not be clearer. Israel is doing genocide because it has sought to eliminate the Palestinian people as a people. It has tried to destroy their social life, like the reproduction of their social life in Gaza. What is genocide? How do they define it? The term genocide refers to socio-political phenomenon that has occurred throughout human history. Various definitions have been proposed for it, but at its most basic, genocide is the deliberate, violent destruction of an ethnic, national, religious, or racial group, or an attempt to do so, that inflicts severe and irreparable harm on the group as such. As defined by Lemkin, the Jewish-Polish jurist who coined the term, genocide is a coordinated attack on various aspects of life of a distinct national, ethnic, religious, or racial group through diverse actions aimed at the destruction of the essential foundations of the group's life. Then it's just going into this. So, I mean, you can read the whole thing if you want. It's available. What the fuck is this on screen? Do you not know what this is? This is Israel. This is Israel. It was like a football stadium in Gaza City.
ג'נוסייד זה הרס אלים מכוון של קבוצה מובחנת, במיוחד קבוצה אתנית, לאומית, דתית או גזעית, כקבוצה. כלומר, הקורבן בג'נוסייד הוא לא רק האינדיבידואלים שחברים בקבוצה, אלא גם הקבוצה כקבוצה.
ג'נוסייד תמיד ילווה במחיקת האנושיות של הקורבנות, כלומר, בדה-הומניזציה שלהם. תביני, עזה נבנתה במשך עשורים בראש של הישראלים כמין חור שחור. בני אדם שחיים שם הם אלה שאפשר להטיל עליהם מצור, שאפשר להתקיף בהפצצות בלתי מובחנות. הם אלה שאפשר היה במשך שנים לפגוע בהם בלי לשאת בשום אחריות.
I mean, I'm glad that they're talking about it. I guess it's just like, I don't know if I want to watch that, because like, it's just kind of like, and maybe the report's more meritorious to look at, because I'm just not sure that I want to look at this. Let's have a look through, see if there's any points of the report that might be interesting to look at, because yeah. Assault on the family unit, assault, social, political and cultural destruction inside Israel, the prison system is a network of torture camps. For decades, Israel has imprisoned hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, including many members of the community and political leadership across various regions. The incarceration project was designed to deter against any political involvement and send a clear message to activists that any attempt to resist Israeli oppression may be met with imprisonment without trial, violent repression and even torture. I mean, it's just kind of talking about pretty standard stuff, like... was arrested at a military checkpoint in Israel as he and his family were searching for shelter. The soldiers called me over and ordered me to undress in front of my wife and children. It was deeply humiliating. My daughter Ahlam ran over to me while I was undressing and clung to me. A soldier told me to call my wife to take her away or they would arrest both of us. My wife came and took Ahlam, who cried, "I want my dad, I want my dad." Everyone around us was in tears. In a room at the Jabalia checkpoint, soldiers attacked us with batons. I screamed in agony from the beatings and the tight cuffs every time I raised my hands to protect myself. The zip ties cut into me even more. They poured cold water on us, cursed us, and called us names. You F-slur, you Nukhba, you shit, you dirt, we'll send you to hell. Severely, for weeks, Abu Nasser was severely abused by soldiers, including while held at Sidi Taiman detention facility, where he was repeatedly questioned about the location of Israeli hostages. On the first day at Sidi Taiman, I was surprised to discover they had a unit called Qamma. Qam'a? They would come throw tear gas canisters into the hut. Some detainees lost consciousness, others bled from their nose and mouth from breathing the gas. The suppression units would come more than once a day. The occupation soldiers would burst into the hut and start beating us hard with batons, all over our bodies. Then they would search us one by one, throw us on the ground, step on us with their army boots, hit us with their helmets. The experience of incarceration leaves deep physical and psychological scars on Palestinian detainees, even after their release. Many have reported ongoing physical and mental distress resulting from the abuse they endured in detention, describing how it disrupted their lives, interrupting studies for younger detainees and harming employment and family life for adults. The cycle of suffering and its psychological impact extended beyond the prisoners themselves. Family members who were often unable to make contact or learn anything about their loved one's fate during during the long months of imprisonment, paid a heavy price, as well many children were left without a mother or father. Women and men were forced to raise children alone. Children were taken from their parents. Families had to spend their savings and go into debt to cover legal costs, while teenagers lost close friends suddenly and without explanation. That's a really important part. But if you understand the way religion works in the Quran, it is actually more close to Christian. This is had a copy. They think Jesus is a prophet. I'm not religious, but what the fuck? I mean, I don't think that really, like, I don't know what the point, like, people bring that up, but, like, I don't care about what, like, these, like, what, like, I don't care about, like, Judaism really in this context of, like, the theological perspective, because most of the people doing it are not doing it because of, they're not doing it because of, like, deep theological reasons. Some are, yes, but it's not the vast majority. I mean, also, by the way, anyone who tells you about, like, someone they know who served in the IOF, and as I was reading that, I literally was just thinking, like, Ethan Klein's dedicated campaign to harassing fucking Hassan Piker for interviewing an 18-year-old. And like, you then think about Lonabox, who is, you know, like, you think about Lonabox, who interviewed someone who was at the Netzarim corridor in Gaza. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Like, Ethan had him on his show, and he interviewed someone from the, from that area. Right, let's just have, there was something I wanted to look at. Let me see if I can just find it.
Is it London?
Actually, you know what, guys? I'm probably going to end the stream here. I'm going to be live tomorrow. I'm also promising 4 lives this week. I just did 5. I'm going to do 4 lives this goddamn week. Thank you all for coming. I'm sorry to end it early. I just have some stuff I want to get on with this evening, as in the Superman video, and because I've already been live for nearly 2 hours, and because I didn't plan the stream as well as I should have. So thank you all for coming. I hope you have a lovely rest of the evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow, same time. Alright, guys, have a good rest of the day.